if a good deal comes up, I'll probably get a webcam, like a 1080p one or something.
Oh yeah. I mean, to be fair, the built-in ones on your new MacBook will be 1080p.
Oh, okay. I think this one's 720. Maybe don't need it then.
Right now I'm at 1080 right now. Yeah, the cameras on MacBook Pros are pretty decent. So, hi Timmer. How you doing, mate?
What's he doing here? What cute you?
He's loving it. Yeah, we had to change up the schedule due to Mother's Day. Is Mother's Day like a universal thing, or is it like different in US and stuff like that, or is it just?
I think they're different times.
Okay, yeah. So we got Mother's Day tomorrow in the UK, so I'm visiting family and stuff. So I'm out in London all day tomorrow, so I will not be around for the poddy. We've had to move it to today.
What are you doing in London?
We are just kind of going to spend the day out there. We're going to go to the Natural History Museum because Logan is obsessed with dinosaurs at the moment, and that's going to blow his little mind. And yeah, we're just going to hang out, probably grab some lunch, do some shopping, that sort of thing. Just have a little day out in London. And then yeah,
you're not going to go to the Science Museum.
We might do, but we want to go there mainly for the dinosaurs and stuff for Logan. But the Science Museum we might do while we're there. But you'd have to pay or pre-book. I don't know how busy it's going to be on like Mother's Day or something. Because the natural history is free, but the Science Museum you have to pay, I think.
I think they ask for donations, but I think you can go in for free.
What, in the science?
They have people standing at the gates. Yeah, they've got people standing there like,
yeah,
you can pay if you want. Don't have to, but you probably should.
Yeah. You can pay if you want to keep your legs, or just go in there without your legs.
Your choice, really.
I'm like, just take my legs. I barely use them anyway. I know, cricket season's coming out. What we're talking about.
Really? Oh. What are you going to do, though? Are you going to drive all the way back home?
Yep. I'm going to have to just get a train or drive there, and then just sort of, it's a whole day thing, and then I'll probably crash over until Sunday, and then just come back Sunday morning. But yeah, it's a bit annoying. Tilly will come to me for a few games as well. It's a bit annoying, but it's just one of those things. I don't really want to be at a different club. I get to play with my brother. It's a good excuse to see him every week and stay in touch with the family. And I've just been playing for that club my entire life, so.
So you're going to be 90 playing with the same people?
Right, well, this is quite the leap, isn't it?
That's true.
I don't think I'm going to be playing cricket at 90, if I'm fucking honest. I feel like my body's disintegrating as it is. So.
Why not? I've definitely seen some 90-year-olds playing.
No, you haven't.
I have, yeah, I have.
The oldest you've seen is probably like Sheps.
100.
To be fair, it's probably like 80. But no 90-year-olds.
He's probably not with us any longer.
He's Sheps? No, he's still there.
Yeah. Is he? Oh, that's good.
Yeah, he's still playing, dude. He's a legend.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, well, let's get this moving then. Let's get the show on the road. What?
Yeah, and now I'm going to jingle us in.
Okay.
We're jingling. That wasn't clear enough.
Oh, great. Oh right, shit. Yeah, hi, everyone. Hello. This is the Quick Resume podcast. This is a 92nd episode. Getting close to triple digits. That's pretty funny. Scary stuff. Yeah. And we talk about video games, and my name's Deck, and that's Tim.
Hello.
We're fucking losers.
Basically. Dude, you didn't just swear at the first 10 seconds, did you?
I did, yeah.
My money.
Well, we don't have monetization anyway.
My money!
We're not a partner anyway. Fuck you, YouTube. How about that?
Yeah, it's not going to do us any favors in the future. They're like, we looked over your application and we found your 90-second video where you told us to fuck off, and we decided to decline your application. Take that. Bitch.
I was talking about another YouTube.
Yeah, I was talking about a different YouTube.
I've got a friend called YouTube. Yeah, it's do you know what, Tim? It's been a quiet old week.
Oh yeah.
Not much has happened. Yeah, to be honest, biggest things that have happened have been, you know, ongoing developments with ABK and then
Xbox
the Redfall Story trailer. Really,
didn't they?
They did go a bit ham.
Xbox Live.
They did, yeah.
You have a 10-year deal. You have a 10-year deal. You have a 10-year deal.
Yeah. Check under your chairs. You got a 10-year deal with us, Microsoft.
Audience, check under your chairs. Each one of you have got a 10-year deal with Microsoft. What does that mean? What does that mean for me?
Yeah, businesses of any size, any field, any industry. It's like like you're an indie coffee place. It's like, we got a 10-year deal with Microsoft. This is awesome.
Yeah, it's great. We can put Call of Duty on our coffee mugs. Okay, Timmer said you can talk about the stuff that he sent us. Did you? Actually, I saw that. I saw that you sent some stuff over to our email. Did you check them out?
We were having. Yeah, I did. We were having a bit of a back and forth, myself and Timmer, and he was very nice and sent over some stuff
clearly it hasn't
from his LinkedIn.
Tim, so.
Oh, what can I tell you? I'm a busy guy, you know. It's not in the notes, to be fair. But I mean, I assume you're talking about the ZeniMax stuff, which I think we've touched on a bit before. But it was nice to see the confirmation for it. You know, ZeniMax Online's new game. Like, some job postings seem to imply that there's like a lot of verticality. There's like not like web slinging, but there's lots of like high movement from like,
some might say
like zipping from building to building,
like a Mandalorian or something.
Yeah, maybe.
I'm still holding out hope, dude. Still holding out hope.
Yeah, it's just, there's so much opium going on with the Mandalorian Xbox game. It's definitely not a real thing.
No, absolutely not. At this point, I'm just doing it for the meme.
God damn it. There was something else I had here that I wanted to add for the notes, but I don't have it. Shit.
It'll come back.
Yeah, thanks, man. All right, well, you know what, Tim? I've left my coffee in the other room, so I'm going to leave this first story to you about Ghostwire.
Well, we can just. I'll do my.
It's really important that I have my coffee. I'm really off my game today.
You are. You fucking suck. For those of you who don't know, when he goes and gets his coffee, this fucking guy is on Halo Infinite at the start time of the podcast. I can see it because he linked his Discord to his Xbox. My man's playing Halo Infinite, declines my call, 5 minutes later joins. He gets his breakfast sandwich delivered and eats it on the mic. This guy's he's all over the place today. All over the place. But, you know, that's the sort of stuff you get when you have a semi-professional podcast. But yeah, so, I mean, we haven't done a little intro to what we've been doing this week.
I wasn't playing Halo.
Whoa,
I didn't play it. I just booted it up.
Yeah, I'm talking about what I've been playing this week.
Sorry, man. Sorry, continue. I just thought. No. It's okay. You go on.
Yeah, I do. I definitely wasn't back talking you. Yeah, so what have I been playing this week? I played a bit of Midnight Suns. Haven't done Overwatch this week yet. Probably play a little bit of that today to get on that battle pass again. We played Valheim. Which
I finished it.
Oh, you finished it, have you? Nice.
Yeah. So, I guess a bit of a shame you're gonna have to solo queue that.
Fantastic. That's fine. I don't need to carry a soggy wet ass. So,
a good one. Why is it soggy? Why is it wet?
You know. So what else? Oh yeah, Valheim came out on Tuesday. I think most things tend to come out on Tuesday. I think it came out on the Tuesday.
Yes.
To Games Pass, and we played a little bit of that. I played that on Thursday with the boys. Gotta say,
yes.
I enjoyed it, but I have a question to you. What does Valheim bring to the table that something like Grounded doesn't. Apart from a different design perspective, like it's high fantasy. I feel like most mechanics in that game are done better in Grounded and far more polished, including combat and building.
I think the setting and the approach to exploration is different,
I mean, it looks
and
ass.
just more mass appeal. I don't think it does though.
I've
I've
got
heard
to
you say, I
say,
think Valheim looks good.
I think it runs well. You put it into performance mode, and there's no hitches. Nothing wrong with the way it runs. But it looks like it looks cheeks, dude. It doesn't look good.
I think it looks. I think
My
it looks good.
characters
I
are
think it
like
legitimately looks good.
kind of triangular, like the
Yeah, but it's style.
muscles.
I don't know. It's not. I feel like it's styled intentionally. It's pixely on purpose, and then they've just put pretty much all of the processing power into like volumetric lighting. Do you know what I mean? There's like trees that are like 3 pixels, and then this lighting like comes through the trees, and you're like, oh,
Yeah,
cool.
yeah,
It kind of looks like it's all on a tabletop. That's kind of what I kind of
yeah.
feel it
Maybe
looks
I'll
like.
have another glance at it when I play it. Maybe today, but like, it wasn't really doing anything for me. And I'm typically a person that tends to enjoy stylized graphics and stuff like that. Like, I'm always up for that sort of thing. But it didn't really do anything for me in that respect. And I don't know if it was just lag for the server, but like when I was like hitting enemies, there was like a delay behind them actually reacting to it and then taking damage, and then like, and I'm like wired in, so it's not my connection or anything like that. So like, just that sort of stuff just made it feel a little bit just jank, a little bit. I know it is game preview for anyone who doesn't know, it is game preview.
Mhm.
And yeah, apart from the aesthetic and the high fantasy like setting, it's just I feel like a game like Grounded just kind of does everything it does, but kind of better. Definitely from
I
a
mean, yeah,
combat
I
and
don't
building
disagree.
perspective.
Yeah, the building in Valheim is kind of ass.
Yeah,
Like the best thing about the game is the fact that you can play with up to 10 people.
yeah,
You know, it's just this big, fantasy world. There's a lot of like mystery to it, I think.
mm,
Um, like we haven't gone into any of the deeper mechanics. Like some of the boss fights are really cool. That I've seen so far. But I mean, I don't disagree with you too. I think it's like Grounded is one of those things where most people don't even know what Grounded is and won't even give it a try because it's about bugs and kids. Do
yeah,
you know what I mean? I think I agree with you. They have Microsoft, Obsidian have Microsoft money now. So even though it's a small team, that game is polished to a T with a lot
yeah,
of really good mechanics. I think it's literally one of the best in the genre, like Grounded.
yeah,
But
yeah,
most people won't even look at it twice.
yeah,
Whereas Valheim is like, oh, I know what a Viking is. You know what I mean? Oh, look at
yeah,
a goblin. We can do that.
yeah. And I'm not saying I had a bad time. I do think it's a good game, and I will continue to play it. But it didn't blow my socks off. It wasn't like, oh, I can't wait to get home and boot this up and spend the next 4 hours on it, like multiple times a week. It was like a game where I was like, yeah, I could probably hop on it with the boys if like everyone's on, but like I still want to play Overwatch. I still want to play Midnight Suns, stuff like that, Which I feel like for a game, for what it is, a survival game, they really do need to get their hooks into you for actually to enjoy the game, because you do it's one of those games you do have to put a lot of time into to get anywhere. Like, you're not seeing progress if you play that game an hour at a time. Like, you got to sit down for a few hours, collect resources, do some building, make some armor, like go here, go there. Like, if you're exploring, it takes you, if you just want to go to a point on the map, you're just running back and forth and taking detours probably for a good couple hours. So yeah, it'll be interesting, but it's good. It's definitely good.
Yeah, yeah. No, I'm with you. I think it does feel like an indie game still, but not in a good, not a bad way. Like
Mm.
uh, yeah. I think there are some things which are intentionally basic. Like the combat is intentionally basic, but I think it's for what it is still pretty good.
Yeah, it's fine.
Uh,
Yeah,
and I think I said this to you as well. Like, I think if you do play something like Grounded and then you play something like this, you like instantly miss a lot of the quality of life. Like one of the things that they always did with Grounded that I was like, why is this not a common thing?
mm.
Is that when you're if you've got a crafting bench near a storage chest, you can just make stuff and it will just pull the stuff out of the chest.
Yeah,
That's not a thing in Valheim.
Yeah.
You've got to go to the chest, put it in your inventory. If your inventory's full, you've got to swap it around. Then you go to the chest, make the thing, then you go and put that stuff back in the chest. Like the quality of life, like this is clearly, and Grounded, remember, was made for Xbox and PC, so like they had all of that in mind. Whereas this is like a port over to Xbox, you know. And again, like the mapping onto the controller is fine. I don't think it's great. Like the fact that you navigate your inventory, your hotbar on the D-pad, and then press up on the D-pad, I think is kind of rough at times because like there have been times where I've been caught and I've had to like D-pad over to the thing and then like a shield and then press up and then go over to my you know, like weapon and then press up and it's like, oh, this takes like 5 seconds too long.
It's a bit, there's a bit of clunkiness in inventory and just like stuff like splitting stacks or like just taking like a single thing and throwing it on the ground. Like my hands get confused. It's like I'm playing a fucking fighting game. Like, I don't know what's going on. So I have to hold like LT and Y and then right trigger and A and then like this, that, and split that. And it's just like, what's happening? Like, just surely there's an easier way to do this. Like, my brain just gets confused and I just end up chucking the whole stack on the floor. I'm like, fuck it, just take it off.
And that's like, I'm saying this because like to roll is LB and B. So it's like LB is to block. So, and it's like, but B doesn't do anything. Why is it not just B? Why is B not roll?
Exactly.
Like, why is it LB and B?
Unless there's something we haven't encountered yet in the game that uses B. But yeah, it's weird. But
I do like the sense of atmosphere and environment that the game has for sure. But I'm with you. I feel like there's. I mean, I think Grounded's been out for longer, so maybe it's not a fair comparison. Yeah, Grounded has been out. Grounded's been out a while now, hasn't it? A preview. Yeah. But I feel like there is more depth. I mean, we haven't played that much, have we? We've only got to the second biome, really.
Yeah.
But the seed that we had for the world was shocking because the boss was like, the biome was split across the ocean, and the boss was across the ocean, so we had to make a raft and like sail over there.
And the sailing is so slow in that game, at least on that raft.
It was so slow.
It's like to the point we had to sing sea shanties just to fucking pass the time. But and just weird stuff like you die if you're in the water swimming for like 5 seconds and shit. It's just like, well, this was an exploration game. I can't swim. Like what? I don't get it. Just weird.
It is quite funny though. You remember how it worked in Ark? Like it was the worst. Like if you run out of stamina, you just stop being able to swim, and you just have to slowly sink to your death.
Yeah,
and you don't do that here. You just start taking damage instead of your stamina going down. But nothing really changes. And it just like I just really like the idea of your guy being like, I can't hold my head up anymore, like just still swimming, but like just face underwater.
Just accepting his fate.
But
no, it's decent. It's a pretty good game right now, and it's a good time with friends. So I do recommend playing it. But yeah, what else? Oh, and I've been playing Marvel Snap.
Oh yeah, you have, of course. Go on then. Tell us about it.
It's a great game. If you're looking for a little game to pass the time on your mobile, Marvel Snap is excellent, especially if you like Hearthstone or something like that. It's really easy to pick up. It's not like pay to win at all. The way like you earn cards and stuff like that, and literally I think there's like a battle pass that you can buy that gives you like a couple cards, but like apart from that, everything else you just earn in game by just playing. And so that's really cool to see, considering Hearthstone was a fucking absolute drain on your bank account if you wanted to do anything. And it's just good fun, man. Like it's really unique in the way that the game's played. Like it's like a game about controlling 3 different zones, and you have to have like the most power in the zone with the cards you play wins that zone, and you have to win the game. You have to win 2 zones out of the 3, if that makes sense. So you put cards in a zone, and you got 5 power in that zone. If the enemy has 4 power in that zone by the end of the 6th turn, you win that zone, and you have to win 2 zones to out of the 3 to win the game. But like as you play, each zone has like its own unique effect that gets revealed. So it could be like cards here have a 25% chance to be destroyed. Cards here have +1 power. Cards here get duplicated. Cards here, and that changes every single game. I've seen some repeats, but like it makes every game unique. There's like a little bit of like sort of RNG and stuff like that, and it's just good, man. It's a good little game. I'm not going to go into it in too much depth, but it's fun and it's cool the way they've done like the card designs and stuff. It's really pretty, all the artwork, and you upgrade them to make them like 3D, and you can put animations on them and stuff like that. It's cool. I like it.
Neat. Yeah, it's cool. I have always been interested in it, and obviously it's kind of popped off since it launched. I think it got a couple of Game of the Year nominations last year. It might have even won something.
Yeah, it got
but,
Mobile Game of the Year last year. Yeah.
But yeah, no, sounds good. Sounds good.
Yeah, it's decent.
On my side of things, I meant to speak about this last week. I haven't touched it this week, actually. It's definitely not today. It's Halo Infinite Season 3. And that's been good so far. I think generally the community's been quite happy with that. I think there's quite a lot of positive sentiment around it, especially if this is what. I mean, obviously, a single season is not going to be enough to course correct, to get a bigger population back. And obviously, the population did spike, and it has stayed up a bit more. But I think it's more. Oh, if we can expect this every season for every 3 months going forward, that's a good sign. Because there's a good amount, man.
Yeah,
that's right. And even by any standards, even by standards of other games, I think it was a reasonably big season. Like 3 maps, new weapon, new equipment, couple of story beats, which were like kind of interesting. I mean, obviously, like if you don't really care, it's not crammed into it at all. But like, the idea is that the brute AI that was introduced last season has is kind of like corrupting Spartan Din.
Yeah.
One of the headhunters or whatever they were called.
Yeah.
And he's having like visions and everything, and it seems to be implying that there's some deeper stuff going on. And so there's been a couple of changes in the maps and live fire. There's that door downstairs. It's like got an Oni symbol on it now. And some of the maps have like this digital grid effect every now and then, because I think it's supposed to be like kind of a breakdown of reality sort of thing.
The
It's
system's
like,
getting like infected
made
with
up.
like a virus sort of thing, isn't it? It's
Yeah, that's right.
That sort of vibe. Yeah, it's kind of cool.
just kind of
like,
a couple of nice touches like that. Yeah,
little story elements like that kind of throw me back to like these like Nazi zombies era and like Call of Duty and stuff like that, when they do little like subtle changes on the map, when stuff like that happens, and little scenery changes. And I actually really dig that sort of form of like telling a story and having subtle changes like that. I think it's really cool.
Yeah, I'm with you. I like that. It's kind of a show don't tell approach, or a bit of both, because the cutscenes are really good as well. And then I think like adding some of the maps and stuff really helps it go that extra mile. So yeah, that's been good. Battle Pass is obviously there as well. They started one of the new events already, and the challenge system is just so much better now. Like I can't emphasize how much better that all is. And you get performance-based rewards as well. So you're incentivized to actually win. There's none of this like most of how there used to be like get kills with a specific weapon. Now it's like get kills with a banished weapon and a or UNSC weapon. So it's like super easy peasy. Don't have to get kills with a fucking like the plasma carbine.
God,
the 3 burst thing. That was, what were they thinking? Like, that's so stupid.
There was even a challenge. I swear they had one once where it's like just get like a ninja medal as well. It's just like I can't fucking control that shit. Like that's like kind of a rare thing to pull off, and it's
you can't put a corner, dude.
Having a challenge like that is just infuriating. Like I hate it when a challenge just sits there for ages and you can't do it because it's like altering your gameplay style and stuff like that. That shit just really irritates me, and like every passing game it lingers there. I get like angrier and angrier. Like I just don't like it. But yeah,
for sure. And then there's a couple of new game modes as well. I think they've got like Team Escalation Slayer, I think, which is essentially like it's team gun game.
Oh, cool.
Which I thought was really cool. You have like a bar which goes up, and then once your team gets to that bar, the whole team gets to the next set of weapons, and
Ah.
each loadout has like a different equipment as well. It's quite cool. I thought it
I
was quite
wonder
cool.
if
So
that'd
you
be
start
better
with like rockets.
if they did that as like a free for all style. I wonder if that'd be better rather than team based.
Yeah, maybe that was essentially what Last Spartan Standing was, though, wasn't it? If you remember that, what that was.
Yeah, but you didn't like upgrade weapons or anything, did you?
Yeah, you went through weapons when you got kills.
Did you?
Yeah.
Oh yes, you did. Yes, you did. Yeah, yeah, you're right. Yeah, okay, that makes sense why they did it team based. Yeah, I'm being stupid. I haven't played Halo in a while.
And I think a lot of people were like kind of pissed off. I mean, we were at the time as well. They're like, "Oh, we have to play this in free for all." So I'm glad that they
I
made
liked
this
it though. I thought
team
it was a
mode.
great game mode.
Yeah, I thought it
Really
was cool.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's something else that I feel like I'm missing, but I can't remember what it is. But yeah, all good. I'm happy with all the maps. The BTB map especially is very good. It's called Oasis, and it's like a bit sandy, very pretty. Yeah, so it's I finished the event pretty quickly. I got to like level 20 in the battle pass, so I'll probably keep dipping in every now and then. But it's good. My fingers are crossed. Things seem to be picking up now. There seems to be a lot more confidence and momentum behind the team.
Good.
I mean, like, are you still?
I'm
How are
still,
you feeling about?
yeah, I'm still jonesing to play it a little bit, to be honest. I do want to play it, but I think I'm going to struggle right now to find the time between the games that I want to play, and the games that I should play. I feel like Overwatch is definitely falling into a game that I should play rather than I want to play right now. Like,
Yeah,
I think it's fun, and when I hop in it, I do still have fun, but it does somewhat feel forced sometimes, and this is where I really wish everyone just adopted the Halo Infinite Battle Pass style. It's just annoying because I don't even know when it ends. It ends fairly soon, the season pass. It's like early like April, I think, so I don't even have that long, and I'm like level 40
no,
something, so I've still got like halfway to go, and it's just like I really do
yeah,
have to hit that grind. But I would like to have the freedom to play a bit of Halo Infinite, and I'm struggling to find the time to play Midnight Suns, and now with Valheim on the horizon and stuff like that, I know um people are going to want to play that. So yeah, it's a little bit annoying. Part of me does just want to cut my losses, boohoo about the Kiriko skin, or maybe just buy like the last few levels, like the last like 15 levels or something like that, get as far as I can, and just play Halo Infinite again. So I feel like it deserves a bit of my attention this season. So yeah, I don't know. I'm still kind of in
that's
two
right.
minds about it.
We'll carve out a bit of time for it. The guys are still playing it. Like, I think by the looks of how this is going to unfold, it's going to. And I'm wondering if other people have this kind of thing with their friends group where we've got Valheim as like a lo-fi game, and and Overwatch is still the hi-fi game.
Yeah, when the
So
caffeine
the
has
guys are still playing it.
Yeah,
So
cool.
you'll be fine.
Nice.
I'm trying to think. I feel like there is something else that I've been playing. I can't
Did you
remember what it
complete
is.
Last of Us?
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I did complete Last of Us. Yeah. I said I was going to make a tweet about that, but I didn't. Yeah. I spoke to our friend about it as well, who finished it a while back. Last of Us Part 2, that is, in case anybody, you haven't been watching the last few episodes, which I liked. I thought it was good. I didn't love it. I didn't think it was great. I definitely think the way they told that story was all over the place. I don't know, and I do respect it because I respect the ambition. Spoilers, I suppose. Now, in that it's like a dual protagonist story, or
Yeah.
protagonist antagonist, and I respect that. I think that was an interesting approach to take. But man, like, it just feels like they had a story written and then they just cut it up into different episodes and they just lobbed it onto a table and see which to decide which order to tell it. But there was like a 15-hour chunk in the game where like every 2 hours you were hopping to different perspectives or different times.
Yeah. I have heard this about
And
the game. Yeah.
And I was like, it was just so jarring. I was just like, I don't want to. And then because you like swap halfway through, you like lose all your progression,
Mm.
which is like, you know, it's a compromise of telling this type of story you're trying to tell. But I don't know. I don't know. I just wasn't keen on how they told that. And there were a couple of times where I feel that the game wanted me to feel a particular way about a character. Like when you're playing as Abby, you get the sense of the game wants you to feel that Abby's in the right and Ellie was in the wrong.
Yeah.
By the time you get to that, I'm like, I didn't feel that at all. Like so I don't know. The game is making me do things where I was like, I don't really feel like I should be. Like this doesn't feel
Yeah.
right.
Kind of
I don't know.
force it on you. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. But you know, all the gameplay elements were really good. I said this before. Like a lot of the audio and like the visuals are like off the charts. Like Naughty Dog just doing what they do. And the thing is, every scene that they did film was like pretty immaculate. Like all the voice acting was incredible. All the mocap was incredible. The writing was generally pretty like really good as well. I just didn't like how it was directed. I didn't like how it was they decided to tell it.
Mm.
So yeah, I'd give it like maybe an 8 or an 8.5. It's really good overall. Definitely worth a play still because the AI is also amazing in that game.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely the way the story was told was the biggest hang up for me.
Yeah. Okay, that's fair enough. It's still a high score though. Speaking of high scores,
Mm-hmm.
RE4.
Resident Evil. Yeah.
Wow. I knew it was going to be well received, but I did not think it would be getting some tens. That's that was
Did
a
you not?
shock. I didn't think it'd be getting tens. No. I think that tens are being
Essentially,
handed
it's
out a bit
considered
too
one of the
much
best
these
games of all
days.
time.
Well, it's considered, yeah, I guess so. There was a lot wrong with RE4, but it was like the first of its kind to take the sort of direction it did. Like it did pave the way for a lot of
Yes.
things.
For third-person action adventure games,
Yeah,
essentially, yeah.
yeah, it essentially started everything. So it was pretty groundbreaking, but by no means was it like I don't I don't consider RE4 as one of the best games of all time. And I played that a lot when I was younger and I played it with my brothers and stuff like that. And I thought it was a fantastic game. But, you know, I wouldn't give it any more than like an 8 or a 9 or something like that. Probably closer towards the 9 sort of scale. But yeah, no, it's just I was quite shocked to see it actually get some like 10s, some like perfects. But you know, it does look very good. And like I said, I did really enjoy this game from like my childhood, so I am tempted to give it a go. But as I've been saying in this show anyway, I'm juggling a few too many games as it is. There's no need to add another one in the mix there.
Yeah.
And I'm in no immediate rush to play it, but it does look pretty good. And again, you know, kudos to Capcom for doing this. You know, their whole like revival of like the Resident Evil, they really took an IP that was kind of in the toilet a little bit. Like it was big and it was still very well known, but they kind of did take it from in the toilet and really just polish that turd into quite the gemstone. You know, with like
Yeah.
Biohazard sort of putting it back on the map, Village, these remakes and stuff like that. You know, they've done a really good job with it. So yeah,
Yeah. So this is there was a tweet that like gained a bit of traction the other day. And I'd like you to kind of tell me what you think. And the tweet was something to the effect of, "Oh, the three highest rated games of the year so far are all remakes of old games. What does that say about the game industry nowadays?" Discuss.
I don't really think it says anything because I feel like these games are being changed a lot from their originals anyway and adapted to a new style of gaming and having lots of quality of life changes anyway. It's not just a case of it's a graphical upgrade and it's the exact same game. RE4 Remake looks vastly different to RE4 original. and they made some massive improvements from literally changing entire boss fights and mechanics and stuff like that to improve the way the game flowed and told its story and everything. And the same for Dead Space remake. So like, sure, they're remakes, but they're kind of not at the same time. So I kind of disagree with that statement a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, I guess like it's also this idea of like, like, yeah, if you're gonna comb through releases in the last 25 years and pick out the best ones and remake them, like, yeah, of course they're gonna like
Yeah,
that isn't
exactly.
representative of the last of like every game released between you know the 90s and 2010. That these are the some of the highest rated games in that whole era that have then been remade. So yeah, of course they're going to score highly, and not beyond that, it's going to score some nostalgia points.
Mm-hmm.
It just is.
Yeah.
So nothing wrong with that, I guess. But like, I think using these examples to like beat developers over the head with is kind of silly.
No, I think it's extremely silly, and there's plenty of games that are reviewed just as well, maybe a little bit worse, that are brand new IPs, complete new games. So like, no, I mean, just
It's like Hi-Fi Rush.
yeah, Hi-Fi Rush, Elden Ring. Oh, actually, no, we're talking this year, aren't we? Not just in like the recent time frame.
Well, still, yeah, it's still part
but
of the
yeah,
point.
you can argue that sort of thing. So like, no, yeah, I kind of disagree with it. Yeah, you're cherry picking some absolute favorites
That's right.
of like
Exactly.
across a previous generation or even a generation before that. So yeah, it's kind of going to happen. Yeah.
Yeah. And while we're on the topic of like ratings and reviews and all of that, I have some terrible news. Fellow Xbots, take the stand, salute, because Hi-Fi Rush has lost its 90 on Metacritic, on OpenCritic rather.
Oh, has actually? Oh,
it's gone down to a shit, worthless 89 now. What's the point?
Why did I even play
what
that
terrible game?
I only played it because it cracked the 9s. Now I just feel dirty. God.
Yeah, I had a couple of weeks ago, but I just noticed it. I just thought it was quite funny. But
it's kind of sad.
I think like what. Yeah, it is. It was. I think it was a good look, but ultimately, it doesn't really mean much.
No, it doesn't. But it kind of. I feel like even though I rated it like probably like an 8.5 myself, I do feel like the game probably deserved to break into that 90s and like solidify there as is in the 90. But
yeah,
it's still an insane game and reviewed insanely well. But yeah.
Yeah. Well, speaking of Tango Gameworks, Tim, one of their other games should be coming to Xbox very soon. I think it actually got announced in it 12th of April.
It did, yeah. And didn't it get announced with like some exclusive like content or something as well? Something exclusive to it, something new.
I don't think it was exclusive content, but it was
we just get
an update,
or we just get like an update or something with it.
Yeah, it was an update. It wasn't it would come into all platforms, but yeah, spider something. I can't remember. I remember it was a spider.
Great. It's exciting. Oh, yeah, I do want to get my hands on this game. It looks cool. It looks funky. I'm kind of excited to play it. I will give it a go.
Yeah, good luck squeezing that in. But yeah, I'll give it a go.
I've just done a pair offline or do not disturb. DND.
Yeah. Perfect. All right. Well, second salute for the episode. I know every podcast over the weekend is going to be talking about it, but obviously, Lance Riddick passed away. Best known for his roles in The Wire or Fringe and TV, and then Zavala for Destiny. Fringe was fucking amazing.
Fringe was a good show, yeah, and he was good in it, yeah. And he was in the John Wick
movies.
Always good. Zavala, like you said.
Quantum Break as well.
Yeah, Quantum Break. He played the lead in that new Resident Evil Netflix TV show that was kind of received a bit butts, but he was still pretty good in it. He was a good actor, and I loved his voice. His voice was the antagonist so nice.
in Horizon as well.
Oh, was he? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, good voice.
He has such a lovely voice. but yeah, no, it's a real shame. Yeah, rest in peace, dude.
Yeah, it's pretty heartwarming. There's a lot of like in Destiny at the moment. There's people like changing their banners and icons and then going up to Zavala, and there's just like the whole lobby is just sort of on one knee, like doing a salute or whatever.
Yeah, that's quite cute.
Yeah, it's very cute. So yeah, absolutely, rest in peace. Yeah, big talent, big loss to the gaming community. Really, it's we don't get that many actors that are kind of prolific in both games and like TV.
Yeah.
And he was one of them that was like quite consistently involved in the industry. A bit of an advocate, really, to some degree. So it's a big loss.
Yeah.
So just a fun thing, I suppose, I wanted to touch on. Phil Spencer posted about his recent visit to Ninja Theory and reviewing Hellblade 2. He said he was inspired to go back and 100% Hellblade 1, and I just thought this was kind of a bit of a fun tease. He low-key cooking dough.
Yeah. I love that meme you sent me. That fucking of like Nemo. He low-key cooking, side-eyeing it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny. Yeah, that's pretty
cool.
Oh, did he actually do it as well? Did he 100% Hellblade? Oh, it's only 14 achievements.
Yeah, he did it.
Still.
He's a gamer, dude.
Yeah, he probably got someone to do it for him. Pretty paid someone to do it.
He's got... Yeah, that's right.
He's got enough money for that.
Yeah. He just contacted the engineers and he was just like, can you just like pump my gamer score up to 100,000 on this? Because...
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I've been away for a while. I need to keep up the illusion of gaming. It's it's exciting. I'm sure Hellblade 2 is going to be an absolute banger. And yeah, Philly's got the confidence in it. That's for sure. So
yeah, you really need to try it one day.
Yeah,
you need to give it a whirl.
Yeah.
Even if it's just for a couple of hours.
Yeah, it never really appealed to me. But I'll give it a go. I'm more accepting to games these days, so who knows?
What part of it isn't appealing to you? That interest? What do you mean?
I don't know, man. There was just kind of it's one that's kind of hard to explain. Just like the whole vibe going on with it when I was watching trailers and gameplay of it, it just didn't really kind of appeal to me. I don't know. It's hard to put into words a little bit, and I just saw you face that. It kind of reminded me a little bit of like a Rise clone at the time, and it wasn't really on my radar. And right.
And
I was kind of just like, I don't know. It just kind of just
it's nothing like Rise.
It's nothing like Rise for me.
Fair enough.
Sure it isn't, but yeah, it's hard to put into words.
Yeah, just so you know,
really clicked with me.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, go on then. Share the screen so we can communicate what we're talking about. Because
is that what you put in there?
With Phil Spencer low-key cooking, yeah.
He low-key cooking. Isn't this like the scene
for audio listeners?
Nemo's pretty much on his deathbed as well. He's like dying.
I think it might be actually.
Yeah.
I thought in my head he was smiling, but now I can see he's actually not smiling. He looks kind of sad.
No, he is smiling, but he's like he was like he was like really like injured or like hurt or something, and he was like talking to his dad. And he's just like, "Nah, Dad, I still like love you," like that. So that's why he's got like a half like smile on his face. That's why he's low key cooking, dude. I also like my one with the Woody, where he's like, "Hold up,
the Woody one, yeah,
cook."
Yeah, let him cook. That's the one. That's good stuff. Thanks, Phil. Thanks for your low-key cooking. You're really helping us get through these months. Until we get more first-party stuff. Hellblade 2 this year, or I fucking send you a glitter bomb. Got out of my system now.
Jesus.
All right. So this whole thing happened with Microsoft signing cloud deals with like everyone. One of them was Boosteroid, and one of them was Ubitus. I think I was trying to find the screenshot for it, but I for my notes. But I'm pretty sure those are the two One of them was Ukrainian. I can't remember where the other one was, but smaller cloud services essentially getting deals with Microsoft for this shit, which is it's double funny because if Stadia had held on a little bit longer,
Yeah.
they would have gotten a deal with Xbox.
Yeah, they totally would have. Yeah. Although, like you said, Google don't have the best history with Xbox, so maybe they wouldn't have had the arm extended out to them.
Maybe, but I don't know. I think it would have been an even better look for Xbox to be, for regulators to be like, oh, Google, those dickheads that we've got a blood feud with, they're getting it.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know. Actually, have we got more to talk about? Yeah, we might as well. I guess we might as well come on to like the developments with the FTC as well. This is kind of the part that was in the title for today's video around the FTC alluding to a next generation gaming ecosystem from Xbox. But the larger story of that being that the FTC are dissatisfied with some of the documents that Microsoft haven't disclosed, which, by the way, is over 1 million documents. How disgusting is that?
Christ, dude. That's so crazy to think that.
I would kill myself.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure there's more than one person going through it. It's not just like one guy going through 1 million documents. Because yes, he would blow his brains out all over.
1 million. So many paper cuts, dude.
Yeah, that's insane. Which is, I mean, it just goes to show. I mean, Microsoft have been around for God knows how long. But like, this is only over the last few years, right? Because they've only asked for like documents and details detailing like this generation and maybe a bit before it, and it's still 1 million.
Yeah, it's horrible. It's absolutely horrible.
Fucking nuts, dude. No wonder why leaks happen. So much data in these sort of companies. It's crazy.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, there's not much more to report other than the fact that the FTC don't seem happy, but there's a lot of like turmoil going on with the FTC as well. Like people are leaving because under Lisa Khan's leadership, so they've got their own problems as well. Like we said before, Microsoft don't need the go ahead from the FTC. Obviously, they want them to be satisfied so that they don't get sued in the future or now and lose any money. But the central part of the story here, the exciting part that I actually wanted to talk about, is that part of those. The details that the FTC wants more on was Microsoft's ZeniMax exclusivity plans and more information on Microsoft's next generation gaming ecosystem. So let's just start with that second point, I guess. Yeah. Next generation gaming ecosystem, because this ties in actually to a larger conversation about mid-gen refreshes this generation. There was a couple of articles, a couple of speculation that there might be a PlayStation 5 mid-gen refresh coming.
Like a Pro
next year. Yeah. So let's start there, maybe. Like, what are your thoughts on a kind of mid-gen refresh? Should we get one? Do we need one? Like, is next year too soon, too late? What are kind of your thoughts?
I mean, to me, it seems too early for this sort of thing. Weirdly, I feel like we still haven't. I know we've had these consoles for a while, but it really doesn't feel like we have. Like I feel like this leap to next gen has been a lot slower than people were anticipating, and that it was advertised and marketed to like users like when these consoles first came out. I feel like it still hasn't happened, and it's like 3 years down the line. And yeah, there's talks about getting like the next iteration of these consoles, and like PlayStation 6 is like being like patented and stuff like that. It's just like I feel like this one hasn't even started, like weirdly enough. Like I don't know if that's just me, but yeah, I don't feel like it's necessary for Xbox to do a mid-gen refresh. I feel like with the two systems we got now, you kind of cover both areas of affordable and premium in those areas already. And I feel like if we're going to do any form of mid-gen refresh, I feel like that's just going to come with more cloud functionality and improvements in cloud. I feel. I don't feel like there's a need to throw out another piece of hardware there for Xbox. I feel like it'd be very confusing to have a 3 console generation for Xbox. But yeah, PlayStation, I could potentially see it, especially if you get rid of that fucking disk drive that's glued onto the PlayStation 5. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess it's kind of because I guess when we think about last gen's mid refreshes, the idea was that it was catching up to like the rest of technology involved in the console. So the TV, essentially,
4K.
the 4K.
Yeah.
That was kind of the thing. And now for this gen, they're like, oh, you can have 4K without frame compromises. Well, that's the idea anyway. It's not always the case.
Never the case.
And a lot of people, I mean, I don't know the stats on it, but I remember back then, the reason that was a refresh and not a whole new generation is because the adoption rate of 4K TVs was still quite low.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's picking, I imagine it's picking up quite a bit now, which is why we're in the generation that we are. But also, yeah, you're right. I think, especially from PlayStation's marketing, Xbox had said like, oh, we're going to support last gen for like 2 years, and that caused the big outrage, and then it turns out. It seems like Xbox is actually going to be the first console to move into next gen gaming.
Yeah.
Properly. So, yeah, there has been a big focus on cross gen, hasn't there? Maybe arguably because of the stock difficulties. Maybe that has influenced it with the semiconductor shortages.
Yeah.
But that definitely makes the case for a mid gen refresh weaker, because it's like, we haven't even like really seen what we can do with this. Yeah, I don't think.
Yeah. There's been hardly any like Xbox Series X and S exclusives. Like this is. How do we have one? I think there is one or two, but not
Flight
many.
Sim and Hi-Fi Rush.
Yeah, that's true. And then obviously Redfall, Starfield, that sort of thing. Those will be as well, but they haven't happened yet. So
right.
yeah, literally like 2 games in like 3 years that have literally just been like, you can only play it on this new console that you bought. Like everything else, you could technically play, sure, a degraded performance, but still. Yeah, I feel like it's been. I don't know if this went according to plan for the generation. Maybe they didn't mean to hang about for this long, but I feel like weirdly these consoles, like you said, I feel like I haven't really got much out of it so far, apart from playing stuff at 60 sometimes if I want to and stuff like that. And like you said, even like this whole like play at 4K without frame compromises, that still hasn't happened yet. Like, no, I mean, most of the time, if we want to play with 4K ray tracing, all that kind of stuff, we still have to sacrifice frames, and or we have to choose between 60 and 30 and stuff like that. So, like, yeah, I feel like they need to get more out of these, definitely.
And that's not to say, obviously, that these cross-gen games haven't been visually very impressive. They have, like Forza Horizon, and even over on the PlayStation side, things like God of War as well, and Horizon Forbidden West.
Yeah, insane.
Right, all cross-gen.
Yeah.
That's not to say that isn't the case. It's just that I think a big part of the appeal of the marketing push of next gen is that it pushes the technology forward in a way somehow. And really, I would still argue that Flight Sim is one of the best examples we have, and nobody ever talks about that. Like the way that it like that game can only run on really high end PCs, which so that it's like it's like a good parallel for like, oh, this is pushing technology, and obviously the way it integrates, it feeds in cloud data about weather and stuff. That's crazy. That's just crazy.
Yeah, that's unique. I feel like kind of Demon Souls falls into that category a little bit. Not as much as Flight Sim, because Flight Sim uses cloud tech and stuff like that. But like Demon Souls was a PS5 exclusive, not on previous. And that game, as much as it's linear, it's a very linear game. It looks fucking extraordinary. Like, that game is insane looking. I don't know if you've gone back and watched videos on it recently, or like go have a look at it again after this. Like, it looks incredible, like absolutely incredible.
I mean, yeah, I guess I'm just less. I'm less enthused with the idea that good graphics are a next gen thing. I feel like we've hit the point
But
of
like
diminishing returns where it's
animations and
like
stuff like that, it's very buttery smooth, and I think it runs at a locked 60 as well. With those sort of graphics.
I guess. I don't know. Yeah, I guess even then though, like I guess performance for me, like that falls into the same bucket for this context of like God of War is the same, like Ragnarok's the same. You know, it's like it looks very good, it runs super well. You know, it's just really, really well optimized. But like, I'm not really sure if it's a I mean, obviously it's cross-gen, but I'm not sure if I would say that it is using the technology to its fullest in the way that Flight Sim and maybe even Starfield. Like, you could argue Starfield is because it's going to be so big.
Yeah, exactly.
You know,
yeah. Like Redfall doesn't strike me as this has to be a Series X or S. They're just doing it to make that jump, just to be like, okay, this is kind of
it's like a marketing beat.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but like that game could probably run on previous consoles, and they definitely considered it for a long time, and they were like, nah, let's just make the cutoff. Yeah, because like, don't get me wrong, again, it looks fine, it looks great, and I'm sure it'll run very well, and I'm sure it's quite a big world, so like it can definitely leverage the power for the Series S and X. Like, don't get me wrong, but yeah, it doesn't scream next gen to me.
Yeah, I'm with you. So I guess it's just that it's like, what is this next big thing going to be? That really utilizes the technology beyond just like shiny graphics and high frames. Don't get me wrong; those are good things. You know, I think those were things we all wanted coming forward with these consoles. But like,
Crackdown 3, what about that?
Oh, yeah, that's a good point. I mean, how can you fit Terry Crews into a normal Xbox? You know what I mean? Like, you can't get that man. Yeah, it's impossible.
That's why they had to have him so far away from the microphone. Because they couldn't hold the voice.
Fit in the studio.
They couldn't hold the voice within the graphics. It was too much. It was exploding the machines. They had him at 80%, and the machines just started smoking out and playing Crackdown. You just couldn't do it.
For anybody who's missed the joke before, like if you've played Crackdown 3 and you're playing as Terry Crews, the Terry Crews model, he sounds so far away when he speaks. He's like really quiet. He's like shouting, but it sounds like he's like 2 meters away from the microphone. I don't know why. It's just really poor editing, I guess. But it's so weird.
It's really weird. It sounds like he's shouting across the room, like the other end of the house. Like, do you want a tea? Like, he sounds like that all the time.
Yeah. He's literally like, oh, hell yeah. And it's like, what? Why are you so far away? Come back.
Even he wanted out, dude. He's just recording the lines, like edging out of the studio. Like, I don't want to be a part of this.
Yeah, it's all just recordings of him like trying to leave.
That's funny.
Yeah, it's good stuff. All right. Well, so the second part of this, is that they did mention sort of Microsoft next generation gaming ecosystem confirmed. What a big surprise! Xbox is going to continue to make consoles. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
That's news to me. I guess what's interesting here is that they called it and this is directly out of the article. Directly out of the document, even from the FTC. Next generation gaming ecosystem.
Oh no, they're doing
next
it again.
Ecosystem
with the Xbox One.
What?
And then entertainment system. No, they're doing it again, Deck. But they've just rephrased it.
Let's go, Phil.
Oh, fuck. No, it's probably ecosystem because they're going to be like leveraging like cloud, and then they're having it like integrated into like it's probably just inclusive of like everything that they're working on, because you've got like TVs that can like do Games Pass now and stuff like that. Like I think that's what they mean by the ecosystem.
Yeah, I definitely, like, no doubt cloud is a big part of this. But I'm interested, like, how is this integrated in such a way that it's now a next gen thing? Like, what do you mean by that? Do you know what I mean? Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, true. Oops.
Can I go into the cloud?
Probably.
Can I like
we're in the cloud already.
Inject it? So, what do you think?
Yeah.
That's profound. That is. That's abstract.
That's abstract. That was so funny when Mike said that. It's abstract. You know when you said that.
I do like the idea of just saying something ridiculous
Yeah,
and then being like,
that's what he
pretty
did.
abstract.
We were playing Overwatch. He just said like the most obscure thing, and then it was just like everyone was like, "Whoa, that was a bit far." He was like, "Oh, it's abstract, mate." It's just like it was really funny. It was so good. I'm gonna start using that more often. All my controversial opinions, I'm just gonna call them abstract.
Yeah, it's good.
I like it.
Oh, your controversial opinion. How many controversial
I
opinions do
got
you
a
have?
lot, dude. I got a whole diary full of controversial opinions. Keep it padlocked, sealed with a blood seal.
You're not gonna tell us any.
No, it's. I just said I've got a blood seal on it. Unless you want me to cut my fucking hand on stream and open it up.
Do a poll.
Would you like him to open his blood seal diary? Yes or no?
And also open his veins in doing so.
Oh god, I would open my veins, dude. I'd just cut on my hand or something.
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah, fair enough.
Wouldn't go.
I didn't know how much blood do you need for a blood seal. Do you know what I mean? Like, what are the
6
rules to
pints,
that?
dude. I read it as a bag of skin every night. How many pints are in the human body again? Is it like 7?
I don't know. I've got no idea.
Something like that.
It doesn't sound like that much.
Yeah, no,
I drink more than that
it's
on a
not
night
that-
out.
It's not that much. It's like I think it's like 7 pints.
Also, why are we saying pints? I don't know. That's so weird. Why are we talking about it in drinkable units? Like, not
because we're all
milliliters,
vampires.
pints.
How many pints
Yeah, that's 25 cups.
of blood in the human body? Here we go. Oh, hey, Joaquin, you just joined
They'd be
when we're
like-
talking about how many pints are in the human body. 10 pints.
It'd be like how many servings of skin do humans have? It's like
It's 24.
not in like square meters.
24 servings of skin.
24 servings. 24 course meal.
Yeah.
That's lovely. That's really nice.
Yes,
abstract, guys.
that's abstract. Yeah, yeah, Joaquin. Yeah, we're live on SAT because it's Mother's Day in the UK tomorrow, so we're doing the show today because I'm not available tomorrow. I'm with the fam.
Yeah, man.
So, hello, welcome to the Saturday stream where we talk about pints of blood and skin servings.
Yes. Skin servings.
It's abstract. Welcome to the abstract.
Yeah.
Quick QRP.
I feel like there was a really good segue to Diablo there, which I do want to touch on, but I don't. I feel like I'm not done with this yet because we just started yapping on about being in the
I've
cloud.
stayed
and
really spoiler free
went to
with Diablo. I haven't watched anyone's opinions or previews on it, and I'm not sure I even want to talk too much in detail about it. I want to stay spoiler free for that game.
I know it's spoilers, but I've just seen gameplay. I guess like here and there.
Nah, do it without me. I'm gonna leave the room.
I mean, everything's looking positive. That's all I've got to say.
Yeah, oh yeah. I mean,
You know.
the game's gonna fucking slap. Yeah.
All right, well, that does that, I guess. Although they did confirm this week that it's not on Game Pass. So.
Oh yeah. But they that's kind of like a thing that might be subject to change. But then that also depends on when the deal goes through because they can't change it too late to the release date because then they're gonna have to start handling pre-order cancels or pre-order refunds and stuff like that. But it might change if the deal goes through like quite quickly, quite soon. That piece of news,
Maybe,
but who knows?
Yeah. Okay. Well, I guess so. Let's round out the conversation then on the whole next gen gaming ecosystem. What would you? So we've said that we don't necessarily feel that we need a mid-gen refresh. What would like a next gen Xbox look like to you? Or well, they're saying ecosystem here, so I'm like really hung up on that. 'Cause I'm like, I still don't understand what that means. Like maybe this is like tying into the whole cloud streaming stick they were speaking about, but then they've since pulled back on because they're getting traction on smart TVs. Can I play cloud games? On my fridge, on the oven.
Hopefully.
On the
Yeah,
doorbell, on my smart doorbell.
no, that'd be cool. I don't. Yeah, I don't know, man. For me, I'm still in the camp of just give me a console that can do all the 4K ray tracing, all that kind of shit, and keep me locked at 60. I know we just said that like that shouldn't define what a game is next gen or not, but like I feel like we haven't done that yet. So I'd like a console that can consistently do that. Which I feel like I thought this gen was going to be doing that, but it's not. And I would like to see some like cloud not being used just for like portable gaming. I would like to see cloud being leveraged actually into the development of the game and stuff. You know, like they did with Flight Sim. You know, use cloud to like actively
Like Crackdown 3.
exactly. Yeah, use cloud to like actively like render and put things into the game to leave processing power to improve the performance of the game and how it looks and stuff like that, and then use cloud to fill in the details that might not necessarily be seen or noticed, like more backgroundy stuff, and you can really like
Yeah.
I feel like if you can create a lovely hybrid of the two and leverage power from both, you're gonna reap the benefits there. So yeah, just something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I like that. And I guess here's a counterpoint, right?
God's sake.
If the more powerful consoles get, the more ambitious games are going to get, and therefore, the less likely it is the games are going to hit 4K 60. So that's kind of, I feel like the 4K 60 bar is always going to be fluctuating. Like a game like Starfield, for example. Even though we're hoping it will have a performance mode, and based on the last video, it looks like it will. Fingers crossed. Hopium, etc. Cope, Seath, all of that.
Mm-hmm.
But like you would, like if a game is bigger or doing more, or being more ambitious, like you would expect it to run worse. Do you know what I mean? That's I guess my angle.
Yeah, I mean, there's always going to be like a floor and a ceiling, of course. It's just technology. So so I guess, yeah, sure. But I'd like to hit that as like a base, because right now we don't even have that as a base. So
yeah, okay, fair enough.
So
okay, that's fine. Cool. All right then. Let's see what else have we got here. We've got Microsoft trademarking Ender Dragon. Ender Dragon got trademarked. Tim,
let's go.
Are you excited? Are you excited to play it as an Ender Dragon?
Ender Dragon
In every game?
I think they're gonna do like an Ender Dragon like crossover, like hybrid. Like he'll be the main protagonist when they revive Scalebound. The dragon will be the Ender Dragon. I think I've done.
Yes.
I think I've cracked it. I think it's Scalebound V2, but you're friends with the Ender Dragon.
I don't like this idea. I don't like where this is
What
going.
else are they going to do with the shitty Minecraft IP?
It's a bit abstract for me.
Nothing's too abstract.
Do you not think? Okay.
No,
think about a new color.
No, okay. What? Remember, we're live.
Think about a new color.
A new color. I don't think I can, Dag. There's no such thing.
It's too abstract.
Fuck! Jesus Christ, that was like instant. Absolutely outplayed me. Shit hell. We've peaked. He's peaked. He's done it.
This is probably just like fucking pop. Like, what are those toys called that you nerds collect? What are they called?
Hey, my
the
girlfriend
pop
collects those. Pops. Yeah,
yeah,
pop figurines.
Bunch of nerds.
There's a
I'm
whole
joking.
shelf of Grogu's back there. She's got like 8 different Grogu's.
Oh yeah, I can see him. Hi guys.
Yeah, there's one of him eating a packet of cookies. There's one where he's got a frog sticking out of his mouth. There's one where
Okay.
he's got all that blue goo. You know, when he eats the eggs and he's got all that blue goo.
Oh,
All over
yeah.
it. There's one of that.
Yeah.
It's great. It's great. Dude.
Wow.
He's
really
just
having a
eating.
3-course meal.
Man's
Yeah, I was to say, man's cooking. You let Grogu cook.
Grogu Loki cooking, dude.
Yeah, to me, this just strikes as a merch thing. I mean, I don't think this is really game related. I'd love to be wrong. I mean, would I? I don't know if I would actually. Maybe Mojang are making an Ender Dragon game. Who knows?
Maybe that's what Avowed is. Avowed's in the universe of Minecraft, the hyper realistic.
Don't do that. Don't don't put that energy out there.
What do you mean? Well, you wouldn't like that.
No.
It just zooms out, and the main protagonist from thinking it is Steve.
Oof. Oof.
But it's like hyper realistic. Oof. Oof. Like proper graphics.
This is like Doom guy. So he doesn't really sound like that, does he?
He doesn't say anything. That's the point.
He grunts though.
Does he?
Yeah, he says rip and tear. So he does speak.
Oh yeah, he does say rip and tear. I forgot. I think those are like his vowels. You so now say your vowels. Rip and tear.
Rip and tear.
You may now kiss the demon bride.
Yeah, the Cocoa Demon.
He's gonna rip and tear her clothes off in the honeymoon suite. Am I right?
Yo, let's go. This is a Doom. Yeah, this is a Doom 34 podcast now. All right, Tim, let's start talking about Redfall. What time are we on?
We're on 1:10. So
Perfect.
probably a good time. We can
lovely.
talk about it for a decent amount of time, and then say goodbye to Joaquin and Timo, who are wasting their Saturday watching us.
Can you put it up on screen? Can you put the Redfall story? Get it on the B-roll.
Oh yeah. Do you have a link to it, or should I just YouTube it?
I do not have a link.
Fuck's sake, man! Do something.
I'm getting a bit sick of this, to be honest.
Oh really? Right, no MacBook for you.
Yeah. You can't do that.
I'm gonna hold this over my head as long as I can.
That's called blackmail.
Yeah, I've got a form of ransom over you, dude. What?
Yeah, well, I've got your dog.
I want you to send me Snoo.
Story trailer. No, I'm not sending you my rabbit.
It's next day. He'll make it. Recorded delivery.
He would die. He would die of shock.
Nah, it's fine. They're very careful with parcels these days. Literally, like, hand him to the guy, and he just like throws it to the back of his van. You're like, no. He's like lobs it as hard as he can.
Yeah. I've like got fragile on the front of it, like in big letters.
Oh, that doesn't stop it.
Just lobs it.
It's almost like that spurs them on, I feel, when you put fragile on. They just like fucking drop kick it into their van. When it says fragile.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Like, fragile, are you? Oh yeah.
See if you make it. Right. It's playing. And I put volume on, but quite low, so for anyone watching,
no,
hopefully
turn it off. Turn it off.
Okay, all right. Okay. All right, it's playing. Yeah, so go. Talk about this.
All right, great. Yeah, so this came out this week out of nowhere. I will add. I don't know why they did this. Like this is like another missed marketing beat. I mean, I don't know. It's a story trailer, so it's not like, you know, the end all be all. But I still feel like this should have been like across Xbox channels. Like, tune into the story trailer. Nope.
Yeah.
They literally just said, "There it is."
Yeah. Like anyone who's like actively following Redfall on Twitter were the only people that actually found it. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Like no, most people won't know. And like, you know, of course, it turned up on like IGN and like mainstream outlets eventually, where it got most of its traction and most of its views. But I don't know, man. I was hoping we're past this once we started doing the developer direct stuff, and I'm not going to hold it against them too much. Like, it's not, you know, if it was like a gameplay first reveal trailer, that's a bigger deal, I think. But
Yeah,
Redfall needs I think it needs the traction right now. So,
definitely. Yeah, definitely. Um, yeah.
so what do we think? What do we think then of the trailer?
Straight banger, straight up banger. I thought this trailer was excellent. I thought they did a really good job. I mean, I feel like I said to you, the story right now, the way they put it out, it's fairly generic, right? Like I said, it's just big corporate company, push the boundaries too far. Oops, created vampires. It's literally like the plot. It's literally like Resident Evil, but vampires. And then it took over a town. The town's infected. Blah blah blah. I would like to know the story behind your characters and stuff like that. Like, why the fuck does one of your characters have magical purple umbrella powers, and why does one have a magical crow? Like, were they part of the same experiments? And now they're fighting back?
She was. Layla was.
What about Crowman?
I think Crowman, something happened to him.
It's like a phantom
there are
crow.
like short. Yeah, there are like short, explanations of their history on the website.
Okay, all right.
But I'm with you in the sense that like this for a story trailer, it actually gave no more story than what we already knew. We already knew it was like the rich doing an experiment for immortality, I think, and then they turned into vampires.
Yeah,
and now,
yeah.
There's like a thematic parallel of like, the rich literally feeding on people,
Yeah. So yeah, from that standpoint, nothing groundbreaking, but still fine. It still makes for a fine premise of the story. And it was cool to see like how the story was going to play out into the game as well, like the whole like introduction of like the vampire gods and stuff like that, and the fact that those might be like key bosses like throughout the game, whether or not they're like story points or whether or not they're just kind of like you play the game and a couple of them might just be like roaming bosses. So it's just like, oh shit, this guy's turned up, we should like get out of here or something like that, and I think that would be cool. I think it'd be a missed opportunity if they were all like story beat bosses. I think it would be kind of cool to have a few of them just roaming around the world and just be like, oh shit, like this area, maybe we should be here because that vampire god that blocks the sun is here and they're all powered up and we're not at the right level here because like she creates like an aura sort of around her and buffs everything or whatever. Or yeah, just like a couple roaming ones. That would be cool, I feel. But yeah, it was cool to see some of them. Their designs are really cool. They've all got like unique powers and unique looks and stuff like that. Yeah, and it just it looked good. Yeah, we saw some more gameplay. How the guns look, how they feel. And yeah, it looks good. It looks very Deathloop-esque in its shooting and stuff like that. It looks to be around the same sort of par as that. So better than previous Arcane games. And yeah, I think overall it looks pretty exciting. Still no more looks in on like loot or anything like that. Like even like a glimpse of it just like on the floor or anything like that. So they're still keeping that close to their chest. But yeah, very, very happy with it overall. Why have I just kept this on pause? I mean, keep playing it.
Yeah, I was going to say, loop it. Yeah, I think the sense I get is that because they showed off the 4 main vampire gods, and the sense I get is that there's like a Breath of the Wild approach here.
Yeah.
I know they said it was like Far Cry 2, which I think had a similar thing where you can go to these bosses in whatever order you want, essentially, which is, is cool. But I mean, I remember saying to you that like every time we see one of these new trailers, I see there's like more new stuff and then new designs and then new areas and then and I'm like, this game is full of stuff, isn't it? Like this is a densely packed game. Yeah. Between the procedurally generated like psychic nests that they have, and then like just the size of the island seems really big as well. And then there's like the cult factions and then the vampires, and there's like special vampires. Like we saw the one in the gameplay trailer, the one that like casts like a shadow up around you to like
Yeah.
trap you in, and then it can slip into the ground and come. And then there's like one that can pull you in, and then there's that god, the rook, that can come down and get you if you kill too many vampires as like a, you know, kind of like an enforcement system.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
you know, there's 4 characters all with their own skill trees and overlapping, you know, abilities, different guns. Different. I just say the list kind of kept going. And I'm just, and even in like the last gameplay trailer as well, we saw things like going into like the insides of buildings. You know, again, like the denseness of the world, and like those are pitch black, and you've got to use your torch to navigate through them as like a change up in like gameplay and pacing. And I just, I don't know, man. I'm like really that sense of like, and like nervousness and apprehension I have around this game is disappearing with every new thing I see.
Agreed.
Like I've always been excited for it, but I have had like a little bit of anxiousness because it's something new for the team, and obviously I think there's a lot of pressure. We've spoken about this. I think there's pressure for this game to deliver in the sense that it's going to kind of set the tone for Starfield and for the Bethesda merger in a way that maybe Hi-Fi Rush didn't, because we've been hearing about Redfall for so long, and a lot of people like are dunking on it. You know, there's quite a 50-50 split. A lot of people are dunking on it just because of looks, which I don't know, because even when I don't know, man, like even when I'm watching it here, I'm like, I think this looks good, man. Like, I don't know.
I think it looks like it's a nice looking game. Like the colors are there. Like it's got a nice color palette. You know, like the trees are all like autumny, and like the lighting effects are really nice, like inside and outside buildings and stuff like that. Like sure, it's not like absolutely groundbreaking, but like generally it's a very pretty world. You know,
Yeah.
and like the character designs and stuff like that, like they're just quite unique and they're quite colorful. Like they're wearing yellow and purple, and the magic abilities are all bright purple and stuff like that. It's just quite, yeah, I think it's got a nice style to it, definitely.
And also, there's been a big shift in tone, don't you feel? Like, as we've had more and more trailers, it seems like this is more authentic to what the game actually is, and that it's like, it's quite a dark game with very small bits of comic relief here and there.
Yeah,
But I think the first trailer gave off the impression that it was like almost
really
satirical.
quippy. Yeah.
Yeah, which I'm not getting the sense that that's what the game is at all. And they have said that in interviews. They were like, "Oh, for the sake of the trailers, you know, we had that cranked up to get a sense of the voice actors and, you know, their work on the game."
Yeah, so Wacky in here says Redfall will do really well in Games Pass, but this is not going to sell at all. Sucks, but that's how it's trending right now.
Yeah, no, I'd agree, and I think that's fine. You know, like I'm sure we're all in agreement here that Arcane games are just a really good matchup with Game Pass for that reason.
Yeah,
you know.
Plus, I think that's kind of like I feel like Xbox are like anticipating that, right? Like they're anticipating that 90% of the attention on this game is going to come from Games Pass. Like, I think that's very normal to expect that, considering the majority of Xbox owners and PC owners as well are going to be subscribed to Games Pass, so this is where they're going to be playing the game, right? So
yeah, and let's not forget, like we said earlier, this was going to be the first next gen game outside of Flight Sim, I think. Is that right? I think so. So, like, they're even conceding on the fact that, like, we're not going to get anybody on our old generation consoles to play this either. Like, they're literally just pushing this out the door, you know, in my head, to be like what is hopefully like a critical marketing beat. You know, they're like, it's not going to sell all that much. Hopefully we'll get quite a lot of plays and downloads on Game Pass. But look, it's an 84 on OpenCritic, and, you know, again, you know, here's the long pedigree of Arcane. You know, that's what strikes me as like the angle for this game. So that's why, like, if it doesn't do well critically, that's gonna sting for everyone involved.
Yeah, no, definitely. Yeah, there's a lot of pressure on this game, and the type of genre and what it's going for is not ideal for that amount of pressure that's on it. You know, definitely going for this shared world, sort of 4-player co-op, sort of hybrid, like looter experience. Like these games do. I don't know. I feel like people are just harsher on them like right out the gates. So yeah, it's got a lot of weight on its shoulders, for sure. But yeah, I mean, I have faith that Arcane will deliver a good game. Like I was skeptical to start with, always very excited, but I was always like, just the whole vibe of this game. Like I'm thinking maybe mid 70s, but like you said, with each trailer I've seen, I'm pretty confident this game is going to crack past 80s. At this point, um,
Yeah.
I'd like to say like mid 80s and higher potentially, but I definitely think it's going to be an 8 or above. From everything we've seen over the coming months of it releasing.
Yeah, I'm getting to that stage as well where I think 80 and above is what it's looking like. And there are some things. I saw this tweet about this. Obviously, I messaged you about it. But like, you tell me a funny way to die, because and what did I say? Like, if I see one more person compare Redfall to Back for Blood, I'm going to go somewhere high up and have a strong gust of wind snap my neck or something.
Yeah.
Because it's still there. Like, it's that thing of like the day. It feels like the damage is still already done. In the sense, it's so irritating. That people, because and that's the thing, man. I don't think this actually looks remotely like Back for Blood. So I am actually just confused.
No, not
that people
all.
are clicking
it's
on
not
this.
Even Horde. Like it's
And
nothing
like,
Horde based.
No, it's not a Horde game.
Yeah.
Exactly.
There's like,
you don't even have to read into it.
Yeah, I haven't seen more than like 5 vampires on the screen at once in like all the combat scenarios they showed off. It's not like there's hordes of shit running at them and stuff like that. And yeah, it's weird. Yeah, I mean, immediately it gives off more like Far Cry vibes. Like even without them saying that, I know I'm going off the fact that they've already stated this, but like it just does. Like I do not get a Back for Blood vibes from this at all. Even for the initial trailer they released, I wasn't just like, oh, do like a Back for Blood with vampires. That never crossed my mind.
The thing is, it was even introduced, like Phil Spencer got up on the stage and he was like, an open world immersive sim from Arcane. And everyone was like, Back for Blood.
Would you say Back for Blood? He's like, no, that's not what I said. Back for Blood 2. It's DLC for Back for Blood. What's going on? What are they showing off here?
It's vampire DLC for Back for Blood, is it? I don't look shit. I don't want to play that.
Yeah,
and that's it. Done.
Feels like pulling his hair out. Like I didn't say it right. I'm not going insane. I didn't.
He's like turning around and looking at his production crew. Like,
he's like watching the show back. Like, yeah, I said immersive sim. I don't. What's happening?
She's like a cigarette. He's like smacking the table. Like,
he's like,
I don't understand what more I could have done.
It's like, what's wrong with you, Arcane? You're cursed. You're absolutely cursed in terms of marketing. God, you make good games, but like I got off on stage and everyone thinks it's Back for Blood. What the fuck's wrong with
the studio? Yeah, it's crazy. And like, I guess so. There are some things I want to talk about here a little bit. With the game, like now that we're kind of getting into that range of like seeing more, and obviously, media impressions are going to be going live on Wednesday. I think 22nd. Is that right? It was 20. Yeah, so 22nd. Yeah. Content creators across the board are going to be putting up. Sorry, go on.
19th, 20th, 22nd is Wednesday. Yeah. Sorry.
So content creators, across the board are going to be putting up like 20-minute, half an hour long impressions videos, and I think that it's going to be the best chance that Redfall has to convert those people. And I guess this is kind of like a good thing at this stage. Like on these videos that are going up, even though they're not getting all that much traction, it's not that bad. Like it's a lot better than it was. I'm seeing a lot of Marmite reactions. Like a lot of people are like, "Wow, this is." Initially I thought this was a load of shit, but now actually I can see that. Like I'm excited for this. This looks really good. But there's a lot of people who are like, "This looks so generic, always online, Back for Blood." So there's very like split opinions now, which I think is good because it shows that it is creating the capacity for people to really love what they're seeing, which is better, I think, than a flat curve of like, it looks okay. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, 100%. So yeah, Joaquin says 84. He's calling it now. That's the score he thinks it's going to be.
I like that. I like that
Um,
ambition.
I
Yeah.
think that's a pretty reasonable score. Yeah, I'd like to
I
think
hope so.
I'd like to think it's going to crack the mid to low 80s. I'd like it to breach past the mid 80s, get 86, 87 sort of area.
I don't think it'll get that high. I really don't.
But 84 is a very respectable score that people will be happy with, and people will not say this game flopped or this game didn't do its job. You know, like that's a very respectable score. So, yeah. He also says, you guys going to buy the season pass that lets you play the game early. I didn't know this was a thing.
Is that that's not confirmed yet? Is it? I didn't think that was confirmed yet.
Is that confirmed? And how early are we talking? Like, is it like a week or is it like a few days? Because I mean, I think I'd be quite interested in that. I mean, that's one thing that's kind of a bit weird for me is the whole like skins and outfits that they're selling here in like the digital editions, and like I don't know if they're gonna have like a store in game and stuff like that. I don't really see how that fits into the game. That seems a bit shoehorn in, a bit wedged in, the whole like gun skins, character skins, that sort of thing. It's a bit odd to me that and hopefully they don't go too over the top with it and it's just like a digital like bonus, like one time off bonus.
There are unlockable customers like cosmetics, if that's what you mean.
Yeah.
They've said that there's a lot.
Fine, like, but like a whole like there's not like going to be like an in-game store or like future packs where you can get like skins for weapons and characters and stuff like that. Because I don't, doesn't it just that seems a bit weird. That seems a bit generic if they're going to put that sort of stuff in the game and sort of shoehorn that sort of stuff in. It's fine if it's playable and unlockable. That's fine, but to have like separate purchasable things. Hopefully it's a bit of a one-off.
Yeah, I in my head it's been confirmed that there isn't going to be buyable stuff, but I might be making that up.
Yeah, I haven't seen any indication of an in-game store or anything like that. So, no. Wacky says he's going to check. I'll check as well, bro.
Because I think it's because he's probably thinking of what I'm thinking of, that it was rumored that that would be the case, but I don't think it's since been confirmed. Like the bite back digital, from what I can see, includes 2 future heroes, you know, a couple of cosmetics, Vampire Hunter pack, but I'm not seeing anything about early access yet. And that's not to say it won't happen, because they did the same with Forza, didn't they? And also, I think if Xbox are going to start doing this regularly, like it's not ideal, you know. Like I'd rather they didn't, because they're essentially, the game is ready to launch. They're not getting it early, are they? It's just everyone else is getting it late. Just about the framing. But if they are going to do that, they need to make it so it can be compatible with Game Pass. So like somebody can, you know, buy a £15 upgrade rather than having to buy the full £60 game with the £15 edition to get it those few days early, if you see what I'm saying.
Yeah. There should just be like a £10, you get the skins and you get to play it early with Games Pass. Yeah. Yeah. So, but I give it a quick Google and I don't see anything about it. I see like the whole bite back edition, digital editions, all that sort of stuff, but there's nothing that seems to indicate you get to have it early. Based off that, so we'll keep an eye on it, but I don't think that's solid at the moment, Joaquin, unless you can find anything. But
I'm with you.
But looks good.
Can you put on the trailer? Sorry, one more time. I've just got a couple more things I wanted to go over.
Oh yeah, sure.
Because there was, if you remember, there was like when we had the gameplay showcase for the event, for the developer direct back in January. One of the things I remember people kept saying was like, "Oh man, enemies aren't reacting to gunshots," and I remember being like, "What are you talking about?" They are. They literally are. So but like people must be saying that for a reason. Like, I was finding it really hard to like understand where that was coming from, and I'm doubling down. I think you're fucking insane, because like halfway through, I think somewhere in this video, you'll see Devinder lobs his little teleport thing over a banister and shotguns this 2 big stag, and the same happened in previous trailers. So I don't know what people are talking about. There's clear reaction here, so I am a bit confused. So that was the first thing I wanted to point out. Have you noticed that as well?
I have noticed that. Yeah, I thought enemies always reacted to gunshots. I never like thought otherwise. And yeah, you can always see them sort of buckle back with like shots from the shotgun, and then once they're like staggered and ready for the stab, they're like lingering there on their knees and stuff like that. Like yeah, like 100%. I never
Yeah.
thought that things were just running at you and bullets were just kind of going into it. Yeah. I mean, maybe for
Right.
full auto
Yeah.
guns, because it'd
So,
be kind of stupid if you could just pepper him and he'd constantly just be recoiling with every single shot you put in him, because then nothing would ever get near you. So, like, naturally, yeah, stuff's going to recoil more with other guns than a pea shooter, right? So I don't think you can really, um, claim the game is, not doing a good job in that regard. So.
yeah, okay. I'm glad we're in agreement there. And you like if you keep watching while we're talking to the audience, listeners, you'll just have to take our word for it. You'll see what I mean when they start showing a bit more of the gameplay. The
Yeah, there,
second
there it is.
thing that I wanted
Bang,
to talk about is
bang, done.
yeah,
Yeah.
very clear. Yeah, right, very clear reaction to shots. So I don't know.
Even prior to that,
I feel like I'm losing my mind a bit.
even prior to that, you saw him like slide in on the top floor and shoot the human with the machine gun, and even the human was like recoiling with like the machine gun bullets. Like you literally saw him like
Yeah.
staggering to machine gun bullets, like not even shotgun. So yeah, I don't know what people are talking about. It's weird.
No, neither do I. I literally don't understand. So that's the first thing. The second thing is like the immersive simminess of the game, which I like. I've got to admit, I think is something which is worrying me a little bit. Because and this is the thing. I think the game is going to lose points for the fact that it is doing this single player thing versus co-op thing. Like because there are going to be people out there who just feel like playing co-op. Single player is a direct downgrade because you're only playing as one character and you don't have access to as much of an arsenal. I mean, hopefully that's not the case, but I just is there ever an instance where that isn't the case? I don't know. Especially when you've got such different kits. I mean, I guess like when you think of something like Borderlands, you don't necessarily feel like it's a worse experience when you're playing alone. So I don't know.
It is. I would say
You
Borderlands is a
think?
worse experience when you play it alone. Yeah, definitely. Like when you like
Right.
use your like powers and ults and stuff like that, like together, and like I lift someone up with like the siren in like Borderlands 2, and then you
I suppose.
gunzerker the shit out of them and stuff like that. Those sort of things go like they coincide with each other and they go really well. You don't get that if you're just playing solo. And I do think this game is going to have that. Like, I just think it just comes with the territory of the game. If you are playing it solo, unfortunately, I do think your experience will be neutered slightly. Like, the game can be played solo, and I think it will still be very good solo, but peak, you should play it with at least one friend. More if possible. It's just how these games work, and I don't think you should be giving it worse scores because of that. Like, I think that's ridiculous. Just because you need a friend to play the game with, you can't play it solo. You give it a worse score or whatever. I think that's very harsh.
That's exactly what's going to happen, though.
Yeah, it's just so harsh, because then what? We're just going to force every single developer to just make fucking single player games from now on.
Yeah.
It's like, no, like just because a game is catering to having more fun and providing a better source of entertainment by playing it in a group, you shouldn't be deducting points from it. I think that's ridiculous. The game's not marketing itself as a single player game, so why judge it as one?
Yeah. But I guess that's the problem because it's trying to market itself as both a little bit. Like I think some of the marketing
it's openly said you should play this with friends, but it's still great playing it solo. You still can play it solo. They've always used words like still play it solo, can play it solo. It's great to play solo, but they've always said that you play it with up to 4 friends. Like that is the main selling point. They're not advertising it as a single player game. They're advertising it as a multiplayer game that can be enjoyed single player. If you're lonely.
Yeah, I suppose you're right. Whoa. Shots fired, dude. Fucking nerds, am I right?
Yeah. Although I will be playing it solo because I don't want to play this with you. So
Yeah, I don't have any friends, so I don't have anybody who I'd want
me
to
and
play
Deck,
this with.
we only talk once a
There's
week,
nobody
and
that
it's
comes.
because of this. And he pays me to be here. I don't play games with him. I hate his guts.
It's not true. He's lying. Don't listen to him.
Not lying.
So hang on, I'm reading this straight off the website. Slay alone or squad up. Full blend single and multiplayer options seamlessly, allowing the player to venture into the darkness alone or squad up for up to 4-player co-op.
Mm.
I don't know. Maybe that's part of the problem, that it's hard to pigeonhole for a lot of players. Like, a lot of players are like, is this a single player or is this co-op? My brain can't handle two things at once.
Yeah,
Do you know what
basically.
I mean? Yeah, so we'll see. You know, I am worried that some of the reception will be muted by that, but I'd love to be wrong. There are games that have done this before and that hasn't been the case, you know, and so we'll see. The last thing I wanted to touch on before we sort of start wrapping up was somebody had highlighted to me kind of again, like coming back to the immersive simminess of the game, is somebody called it like the systemic systems. So the things that interact with other things that generally make these sort of sims so good. You know, like how in Dishonored you can use like the wind gust to blow away a trap mine that you've put on the floor, or you can, you know, stuff like that. You can put a mine down and then you can yank someone in towards it, or swap places with them, and now things like that.
Yeah.
I haven't seen all that much of that so far. There's been bits and bobs in the sense that like there's there's been some stuff like naturally occurring like UV lighting that you can like turn on. Like if there's vampires chasing, you can flick it on, or you can like shoot at it or something. Or you know, you can see a light in the distance and there's vampires on the other side of it. You shoot it, and now the vampires go into the darkness and start fighting with the cultists or the militia, sort of thing. So I've seen a bit of it, but I saw a bit of extra stuff here that gave me some hope. And there's one point in particular where what's her name? Remy, the one with the little robot dog thing.
Yeah.
Sends her to a petrol station, and the whole petrol station explodes. It transitions out as it happens, but that makes me think, oh, there's more systems at play here that they're not showing us.
Okay. Well, Remy just suicide bombed into the petrol station, did he?
Something like that, yeah. I'm not sure like why or what happened, but that is what appeared to happen, and that makes me think, oh, there's more going on here. And also, even if there's like smaller things like all the street lights, you know, if they can all be shot out, then that kind of, you know, adds another layer to it. So that's the sort of stuff that I feel like these trailers don't do a good job on selling. You know, that systemic kind of systems of the Arcane games.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, if that bird can't pinch off someone's head, I'm not buying this game. I'm not buying it.
Yeah, head pinching on nothing.
Yeah. But yeah, no, yeah, it definitely would be interesting to to see more of that. Your characters and the gameplay interacting with the world around you to kill things in like unique ways and stuff like that. Yeah, it'd be kind of cool to just like turn on like a tractor and send it in, and it like crushes loads of people or something like that, you know, because you're the robot.
Right,
man.
that's it.
You know, that'd be kind of cool. Like stuff someone into a washing machine or something. I just saw them in the dry cleaner. That'd be cool.
Yeah, I think this trailer starts to give you a sense of that. Like, you know, that we saw I think it's the same lady. She used the shockwave of the TNT to gain some height.
Yeah.
And then bounced off the elevator, you know, to like maintain that, or like maybe stop fall damage or something, you know. So it's coming together a little bit, but there's still the cohesion of it maybe isn't quite clicking for me yet. And I think if they just put a trailer together that like, I guess they don't want to spoil it to a degree as well, because one of the best things about these sorts of games is like you said, you know, the creativity you can kind of get involved with tackling each situation. You know, earlier in the trailer as well, the dude with the sniper used invisibility and everyone cloaked.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh yeah, you can fully stealth this game. This isn't like a Borderlands sort of thing where you can stealth around, you know. with your team. So, and there's no tethering. Well, hey, that's good as well.
Let's
So
go.
yeah. So yeah, that's kind of all my thoughts really. Yeah, definitely looking a lot better. I'm going to be playing it regardless.
Same.
I just hope that we start to see an uptick in the kind of reception towards the game, which we are. I think we're getting there. And it's never going to hit, Starfield levels, obviously. But it would be nice to just see some more positivity around the game. And also, yeah, that media event I'm going to be anxiously waiting for. I hope people have got good things to say. So we'll see.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, that'll be exciting to see. Yeah, that'll be a good topic for next week's show for sure.
Yeah, no doubt. All right, we're done here, buddy.
Oh yeah, we are. That's good.
Any closing thoughts on anything today?
Download Marvel Snap. Give it a go. It's a great toilet game.
I love a good toilet game.
Yeah, dude. Games are literally like 2-3 minutes max. It's fantastic. Perfect poop game.
Have you ever thought about how toilets are a bit of it's a bit of a life hack, isn't it? Toilets, like in the workplace,
as opposed to shitting.
Like, who's going to stop?
Oh,
no. I mean, like, in not doing anything. Like, who's going to stop me? Do you know what I mean? Well, are you going to come and have a look at me sitting on the toilet?
Yeah, exactly.
I think so.
Or if you come back like 10 minutes later, they'll be like, "Oh, where were you? Like, having a shit? Is that okay? Doing a basic bodily function? Is that not okay?"
And what they're going to say, like, oh yeah, the average shit is like 4 minutes long. It's like, well, actually,
it was a messy one.
I always have. Yeah, and you can get really graphic as well. Yeah, you can be, well, actually, my shit was pink and covered in blood. So
I actually had a bit of an existential crisis in there once I found out my shit was bright pink. If you must know.
Oh shit. Yeah. I don't know. I just think that's. What are you going to do about it? Do you know what I mean? What, are you going to fire me for just having a shit?
Yeah. Well, dude, I got a disciplinary at Sainsbury's for going to the toilet too much when I used to work there.
Really?
Yeah, I went like two times on like a shift, and I was literally like carrying around a bottle of water with me as well. And then on like the second time, my manager was standing outside the toilet, and he was just like, "Can we have a word?" And I was literally just like, "Yeah, all right, I guess." And then he was literally just like, I've noticed that you stepped away from your trolley, and you've got up here a couple of times so far in your shift." And he was like, what's that about? And I was like, "I'm peeing." I was like, I'm urinating. What do you mean? And he was like really angry. He was upset with my attitude. He was like, "Well, I don't need like your attitude there, like saying that." And I was literally like, "I'm going to the toilet, bro."
Yeah.
And they arranged like a week later. They like arranged like a whole disciplinary. I sat down with the HR person and everything. And
wow.
And literally the HR person was like, "So like, yeah, like what's going on here?" and stuff like that. And I was like, "My manager was upset. I went to the toilet more than like twice in a shift." And she was like, "Seriously?" And then he was literally just like, "Yeah, but it's his attitude as well." And they like just dismissed it, like that I wasn't like put in trouble for it. The HR person was like, "Why the fuck am I here? Why are you talking to me about this guy having a piss on his shift?"
Yeah, isn't that so ridiculous? That like circular reasoning of like, I'm going to say something ridiculous, and then when you get offended, I'm going to call you out on your attitude. It's like, what?
This guy was so middle management though. It was like the sort of thing where he just had nothing to do, so that was his way to fill the day, was just doing shit like that.
Yeah.
And I
catch people out having a shit.
Yeah, jumps around the corner. Fucking thinks in it.
I thought you mentioned having curry last night. What's that? Boona? Lamb boona?
He like, opens the toilet lid. Like, better not be any fucking skids in there.
Which one were you in? That one? Like opening and slamming the cubicle.
Sticks it open. It's like, I was in there. Yeah, there's someone else in there. You're like kicking that door. Having a skid check. Underwater skids. You're fucked.
Yeah. I counted the amount of toilet roll. I counted every sheet at the beginning of the shift. There's 4 missing.
You know the rules. 3 sheets per shift.
That's just
Oh,
crazy.
dude. Is it just me?
Maybe it's not the hack I thought it was.
Are you kind of proud when you get underwater skins? That's how you know it was like a big shit. For it to go in the water, dive down, and still skid. Like, that's impressive.
I'm not sure I'd use the word proud, but like I guess I see your point.
That's how you know you got dense.
You're like saluting as you flush.
Yeah. You did well, soldier. You left your mark on this world. All right, God, we've got to go.
Let's get out of there. There's a long conversation with that. Yeah,
Fucking guys.
Okay.
Sorry, Wacky. Sorry.
Bye.
Bye.